piece missing out of the run fit. So then the run fit shorter. So it's like there's so many pieces that go into how you game plan against certain teams and so much that you got to do. And even just as far as the studying part of it, like a lot of people think we just go in there at 9 o'clock and then we're done at 1 o'clock and that's just football. Like we go in there at 7 in the morning and we don't get done till 5 in the afternoon. And it ain't just like we practice only 2 hours out of that time. So, out of them 2 hours, like all the other time is studying. Like it's like we're in class. You got to study and you got to know your opponent inside out. What is their weakness? What are their strengths? What's the things they like to do best? Do they like blocking? Do they not like blocking? Because all that stuff gives out keys as far as what you can do as a defense. Like if we play somebody and their tight end's not as good as running routes, and we know that, then that's going to cause us to want to blitz their tight end some more as far as not having to cover them as much and being able to send a safety. Or if the running back's not as good as a pass catcher as a Tony Pollard or somebody like that, then okay, we're not going to be too concerned with him when he splits out wide in an empty defense or something like that. So it's just so much to it that you have to really dive into, that it's not just X's and O's or just going out there and playing off of just instincts or your ability. You really got to study, the ins and outs and the weaknesses and the strengths of every player that plays offense or capable of playing offense. Because it might not just be the starter, like a lot of guys rotate too. And the backup running back might come in and be a better pass catcher than the starting running back. So you got to know that as well for when he comes in, that this is a certain key that it might be higher pass instead of run because he's a better pass catcher. So it's just a lot that goes into it. And, luckily, we're so grateful to be able to play this game, be able to still be disciplined to study this game the way we do because, you never know when your time's done, whether it be an injury or whenever you might get old or whatever the case may be. So, we're just so grateful to be able to study this game and be able to do what we do on a high level week in and week out. So, like I said, these last couple of weeks, these 3 games back to back, man, it's been special. A lot of guys might be banged up, a lot of guys might be sore, but, that's something you got to pay. You got to give something back to the game as well as you not just getting paid or having fun out there. That's what's willing to come with it.
And this is why Malik is one of my favorites, because he is able to articulate a lot of things that most people aren't willing to talk about, right. And to give you guys that experience, right, to have that opportunity to hear what goes through their minds and what goes through that preparation throughout the week. I think it's extremely important and it's special because being a regular fan, you're not able to get into that piece of things. All you see is kind of like Sunday to Sunday, like, oh, I saw them last week, I wonder what they're going to do this week. Well, meanwhile, they're spending all of their day, all of their week, away from their families, really focusing in on one game at a time. And I think that's extremely important for people to understand and truly appreciate what they do, right? Because there's a lot that goes into that, and especially in the offseason, they're working, and so.
Malik, can you touch on, everybody's talented in the NFL, right? Can you touch on talent versus scheme and add a relationship to on the field? Because you guys, when I look at your tape, you guys feel like I had a great time out there. So how much do that embodies talent as well as scheme in the relationship? Because I'm going to have a follow-up question on that.
Yeah, so I kind of already touched on a little bit before you guys came in, but as far as the talent and the scheme thing, everybody, like I said, if you wasn't good, you wouldn't be in the NFL. Everybody in the NFL is good in some way, shape, or form, whether a lot of fans believe it or not, but that's what it is. So as far as just the scheme of it, like, you got to put specific players in a specific role at what they're great at. Like, you're not going to have a Micah Parsons go out and play safety. He probably can. He's that freakish that he probably can, but it's like that's not what he's great at. He's great at rushing the passer and sitting back and being able to chase guys down. As a linebacker, he runs a 4.3 or something crazy like that. So it's like he probably can do it, but that's not what he's the greatest at. So why put him in that position? So that's where scheme kind of falls into the role of where you got guys like a J-Ron Curse who's just as big as Micah Parsons, not necessarily weight-wise, but he's able to go and cover tight ends and being able to run in that space to let Micah Parsons not have to go and do that and being able to just rush the pasture. So there's so much that goes in the scheme. Like, that's why a lot of people say DQ is so much of a mastermind on the defense, because he has all these guys who has these different abilities, and he's able to throw them in these different roles to where that they succeed at. I feel like DQ personally, this is just my personal opinion, like, he doesn't put nobody in the defense in no way or shape or form in harm's way as far as you being able to get scored on or look bad on tape. You know, because at the end of the day, like in NFL, when you're playing on Sundays, like a rookie that might not be playing as much, he's still performing for 31 other teams. You know, so it's like I feel like DQ does a great job as far as that and putting guys in the way to being able to go out there and still showcase your skills and talents without making you look like your weakness or your liability out there on the field. So, and then it's just as far as just the relationships with each other. Like when you build that bond on the field and off the field with these guys, and you know you talk to them and you see where they come from and you know what they've been through, it makes it that much easier to go out there and perform with them and go out there and play that hard for them. And you know, like a guy like Donald, like that's my guy. That's who I hang out with on a daily basis. So when I go out there on Sunday, I know for sure I have nothing to worry about with Donald Wilson. I know he's going to go out there and I know he's going to hit people. That's simply what he does. And I know that just for the simple fact of, you know, I talked to him off the field and I hung out with him off the field. I know his story and his background and, you know, his goals and what he's trying to achieve as a football player and as a man. So, you know, once you build that bond, like, you know what these guys are willing to give up and what they're willing to do for them to be able to take that next step, whether you're a 10th year player, whether you're a rookie or whatever the case may be. Like even some rookie guys, like as a rookie, like you don't know nothing and you really don't understand nothing as a football player. That's just be honest. Like they're just out there playing. But at the same time, you still have these goals and these achievements that you want to hit. And these guys, like once you hear their stories, you're like, okay, now I see why you want to do that. Now I see why you want to go this direction as far as how you prepare yourself as a professional and stuff like that. So it's just like you understand each other more and you get to kind of go out there and want to do more for each other just for the simple fact of you building that on-field relationship and off-the-field relationship.
That's dope. You know I love to do the follow-up. And this right here, he said on the field, off the field, and the relationship that you build. There's a guy that's out there, and you probably already touched on. His name is Shaq Leonard. Now, if my research is correct, you played with him, right?
Yeah.
All right, so, and there's another person that played with him.
Stephon Gilmore.
Stephon Gilmore. Hankins was, he was.
No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there then. So, talk to us a little bit on how that can sway the opinions or the mind of Shaq on whether or not he's going to play here or in Eagles land.
It's just about, like I was telling you from the beginning, it's just about the kind of transition process. Like, you know, it's hard for you to, especially when you're a vet player, like for you to want to go somewhere else and be around guys that you've never played with or, you know, you've never built a relationship with. Like a lot of guys do it, but it's hard to do it just for the simple fact of like, you got to get re-comfortable with new people. You got to really build a whole nother relationship with the community and stuff like that. Whereas as far as when you have a relationship with these guys, it's kind of like your mentor in a sense because they can kind of guide you in a direction like, okay, listen, this is the way you go as far as community work. This is the way you go as far as studying the film and stuff like that. Or even just for like me and Darius, like if he was to come here, I can kind of relate the defense to what we played in Indy just off of the simple fact of simple terms that might not be the same here, but I can be like, yo, this is the term that we used when we was in Indy. It was just like this. So it's just easier to build that relationship just because we played with each other like that, you know, and just for the simple fact of, like I said, our families know each other, our families is comfortable with each other, and like just for the simple fact of the brotherhood that we built there, like I know what he's been through off the field, injury-wise and stuff like that. You know, injuries take you to a dark place, and in those dark places, when I was hurt in Indy, he was one of the guys that was reaching out to me a lot. And I know right now, I mean, I don't know if he's coming off injury or not, but last year I know he was hurt. So he might be in a dark place feeling like he's one of those guys that they feel like that they don't respect no more. So I kind of been through that already. So it's going to be easier for me to talk to him and guide him and make him want to be here, be comfortable. And like I said, the culture that we built here in the Dallas Cowboys is similar to what we had at Indy. It's a lot better, obviously, but it's similar to where we started at, you know, just for the simple fact of, like, on Sundays, you just see just us playing football, good football, whether it be the offense or the defense. But little you know, throughout the week, a lot of these guys, they're playing, I don't know if you just know the old little game, the Street Fighter. Nah, a lot of these guys are Street Fighter players and stuff like that, and they play ping pong, and they do that all day and be going back and forth like brothers. So that's just kind of relationship that a lot of guys built off the field throughout the week instead of, you know, just hammering each other with football, you know, going at Dak all day as a defense or Dak going at the defense all day as the quarterback of the offense. So, that's kind of what helps us build that culture, and that's kind of why we're so succeeding on the field because, we go through each other with everything. We go out to eat all the time. I'm probably going to hit one of the guys a little bit after this to go get some lunch, and, that's just kind of the bond we build here. That makes us that much better on the field.
And I think that's extremely important. And to your point, I think DQ has done an incredible job of putting the pieces on the field that play complementary football to each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you speak on that a little bit and kind of how each individual piece fits into the big picture?
Yeah, so obviously you just probably see a lot of guys running in and off the field throughout game day. Like on the defense line, you might see a certain lineup and then another lineup running on the field. Like it's not necessarily like that's who's better for the down, but at a point in the game, like a lot of the football is based off of situations. Like in the half, if it's 2 minutes and a half, and we know that the opposing offense has the ball, we know that we need our best pass rushers. So you're not going to put a guy like Big Hank out there. No disrespect to Big Hank, but he's not one of our best pass rushers as far as speed. We got Michael Parsons, we got Marcus Lawrence, we got D.A., Osa. So there's a lot of guys that's able to create pressure a lot faster than what Big Hank does. Big Hank's considered a run stuff. So in that 2 minute end of the half situation, we want to have our faster D lineman out there who's able to still create that pressure back there on the quarterback. And even as far as coverage wise, like in the secondary, you're not going to have 3 linebackers out there in that sense because, at that point, they're trying to pass the ball. They're going to have a lot of faster guys on the field. So you want to put a lot of more cover pieces. So whether that be more safeties, more corners, or more nickels, that's who you see out there. So that's to the point where you see me, Dono, and JK on the field at the same time. See what I'm saying? So it's like it just depends on the situation at the time of the game. There's always different situations. Like even at the beginning of the game, like you just might see, let's say, if there are a lot more bigger people on offense, you might see guys like Marquise Bell and Damone Clark coming on the field as well as Rashawn Evans. For the simple fact of them are bigger guys, bigger body guys that's able to play the run harder. And, when they're bigger guys coming on the field, just football 101, that means that less likely to pass. Like you're not trying to pass the ball with 3 tight ends on the field and 1 receiver. That's hard to do, So, that, yeah, so that's just more so what that is, that, like I said, that relates back to the scheme of it. And that's why DQ is so smart and mastermind because not only is he able to do that, but we have so many versatile guys that's able to play them positions as well as another guy. Like we're able to go out there and play the run just as good as 3 linebackers on the field with 3 safeties. That's why we're in a lot of 3 safeties a lot of times. So it just depends on what you want at the time of the moment or who we're playing. Like we got the Dolphins coming up. I highly doubt we're going to be in a lot of formations where we have a lot of linebackers on the field because they have guys like Tyreek Hill and Waddle, of course, who's faster guys. So it just depends. Like I said, that just goes back to the scheme of how DQ's so smart with football.
I agree. It's chess game. It really is chess, and I think that's what makes him so brilliant is being able to take certain pieces that complement one another, right, and being able to do that strategically throughout the game, throughout the week in his preparation, and having the talent that you guys have, I think, is a big thing too. So, what do you think, Ryan?
Well, shoot, hey, this is not checkers, this is chess, and keep this in mind. We are 21-0 when we're playing on turf. We are now 14-0 at the crib. So with these next few games, I'm telling you, every game is a must-win game with us because we try to have the Super Bowl to go through ours for big Dallas, So what's your thoughts on mindset on grass versus turf if that's the case? You guys seem to appear to be more faster on turf. What's that psyche about? What's going on?
I wouldn't necessarily say turf. I just feel like, when we play in Dallas, man, it's just the energy and the Dallas. I feel like it's just different, when you're playing at home and, you get out there like yesterday, for instance, if you get out there and, it's one of those positions where, it's 3rd down and we need a must stop on defense. And then you hearing all the noise and you seeing all the white towels and they're getting waved around and stuff like that. Like, it just brings a different energy than being somewhere else, Like, obviously, it's always, great, playing on the road and you seeing as many Dallas fans as we have. But
to be fair, when we was in L.A.
I was about to say, it felt like a home game. it felt like a home game, but it's like when you're in AT&T Stadium and you just see all them Dallas fans and you're hearing the quarterback trying to tell guys what to do, and then he got to call a timeout just because of the simple fact of it being so loud there. Like, man, it's a different energy, you know. So, man, to end it all right here, we got the Eagles coming up next Sunday. You know, you just know what type of game this is for us. It's a must-win game. You know, this. I wouldn't say this is our rivals, but this is our rivals. You know, we need all the support we can get, man. If you're going to be at the game, we need y'all to be loud. If you're not going to be at the game, we still need you to be loud at home. So all of it, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate y'all's support, man. We always appreciate it. You know, it's not unrecognizable. We love how you just go hard about us. You know, win, lose, or draw, so we appreciate it for sure.
Can we all, I know it's time to wrap it up. Can we give Malik a round of applause?